Hi, today is July 31st, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1176 for the year, Marlon Cherry. Susan told me last night that Marlon had passed away the night before, and what do you say? What do you do? The last thing Marlon said to me was that he wasn't going to be doing any shows until the fall. I said, of course. Feel better soon. He had spent the last few months in the hospital, lung cancer. If you don't know Marlon, then you've never heard that laugh, that beautiful voice, and goddamn could he play. We had a duo act together called the Lincoln Memorial and a trio with Susan called the New Trout, and when the time came to start King Missile Dogfly Religion again, he had to be there. He was a beautiful, generous man, smiling all the time, friendly, one of the few people who, if I saw him on the street, I would sublimate my inner Larry David and stop and chat with him. One of the horrible things about living in this world is that you lose people after a while, but one of the beautiful things about living in this world is that you have people in your life for a while. Goodbye, Marlon, and thank you for every goddamn thing. And now I've got to return to my regularly scheduled and insipid programming, but it won't be the same without you. Poem number 1177, not the least. I could not handle the hands out. I could not handle the hands handouts. I could not foot the foot's bill. I could not stomach the stomach's girth. I could not mouth the mouth's words. I could not toe the toe's line. I could not finger the finger's vagina. I could not elbow my way past the elbow. I could not neck with the neck. I could not mind the mind's business. I could not nose my way past the nose's nosiness. I could not knee the knee in the groin. I could not sketch a thumbnail sketch of the thumbnail. As I look back, I feel as though I should have been astonished by all the various and sundry things that I proved to be incapable of. And yet, I was not the least bit astonished. I was not the least bit astonished at all. Poem number 1178, Like an Open Book. After reading the book like an open book, I decided to read a magazine like an open book as well. Then I went ahead and read an advertisement like an open book, then a traffic sign, then a supermarket circular. From now on, whenever I read, I think I will read whatever I read like an open book. I expect I will gain more insight and penetrate more deeply the core messages and the hidden meanings. I suppose I could derive even more meaning if I were to always read between the lines as well, but unfortunately I've never quite understood how to do that. So until I do, I will limit myself to reading things like an open book and leave it at that. Poem number 1179, Open and Shut. It was an open and shut case. You could open the case and you could shut the case, but that was about it. You couldn't look inside the case. You couldn't take anything out of it or put anything into it. You couldn't walk the case as you would walk a dog because it wasn't a dog, it was a case. You couldn't get the case high or take it out dancing or go swimming with the case or make love to the case or fight with the case. You couldn't get engaged to the case or take it home to meet your parents. And this is interesting. Even though it was an open and shut case, you couldn't file the case in a state or federal venue. You couldn't litigate the case. You couldn't settle it out of court. You couldn't move to have the case dismissed because it wasn't that kind of a case. It was an open and shut case, but it wasn't that kind of case. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1180, Another month came and went. Another month came and went. This time it was July. Next time, who knows? My money's on August, but life and time can be unpredictable. You never know. You never knew who was going to be Time's Person of the Year, and I don't even know if Life exists anymore. You know, it would be fun to stick copies of Life magazine into spaceships destined for distant worlds, and then maybe years later people might discover life on other planets. Anyway, goodbye, July. As far as months go, I've seen worse. But I wish you hadn't taken Marlon. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.